Next, we have the sign of Pisces. Hello, Pisces. I love Pisces too. I told you I love all the last four signs. Like all of the last four signs are really me. Pisces, you've got a lot of emphasis in you this month. It's all been about you for the month of March, Pisces. The sun has been in your first house. Mercury has been in your first house. Neptune has been in your first house. There was a new moon in your first house sitting on that Neptune. And, you know, right now with Mercury going retrograde, Pisces, you're thinking about how you're just thinking about yourself in general, I think. But it may be you're reflecting on you. You're reflecting on maybe the things that you've done for the year, over this past year, or what you've done for your physical self, like your body or your image, or the way you feel about yourself. And you might even be looking into things like meditation, self-improvement, mantras, affirmations, self-conscious body image improvements, all of those things. You may be changing the way you see yourself. Actually, with the sun there, right in your first house, Neptune right there, you're changing your image. Image is all changing. With Mercury retrograding, you're going back over things and reviewing things and reviving things and just maybe finding ways to actually repair the physical self. Whatever ways you come up with to do that, by all means, Pisces, this is the month, do it. The other emphasis for you, Pisces, in this month is the second house of money. This is emphasis for several people, but it's a little bit different for you, Pisces, because Chiron is now in Aries, and the sun is going to be going into Aries nearing on the 20th. And so there is going to be some emphasis in the second house. When the sun goes into the second house, I think it's going to really be positive because it's going to put the force of the sun behind your money and your possessions. But right now, Chiron is there, and it's telling you to take a good look at your finances, to take a good look at what you possess, what you own, what you have, and to take stock of these things and to fix what needs to be fixed, to heal what needs to be healed. Do you not feel like you have enough? If you feel like there's a lack or this sense of lack, then Chiron coming here is going to make you aware of the sense of lack and aware that you have to heal this area where this sense of lack exists. And so you're going to be really dealing with this. And this is really going to be played out on the 20th when the sun is in Aries in the second house, and the moon is opposing it in the 8th house in Libra. And with the moon in Libra in the 8th house, it could just be that it's all going to come out and you'll be aware of it, because it could be that other people owe you money, or that you were expecting money, or you're expecting something from someone else, or it could be that legal documents have to be signed that day, or legal documents are signed or they're not signed. And so it throws you into like a tailspin. But be aware that Chiron is going to be opposing that full moon that day, as well as the sun. And so that whole second house, which is my money versus the money people owe me, or my money versus my partner's money, or the money my partner owes me versus the money I actually have. That's all going to be played out that day. One of the other places I want to talk about before I go is the third house. You're going to have a lot of emphasis in the third house starting March, because Uranus has gone into Taurus, and it's in those early degrees of Taurus, and because it moved out of Aries and now it's in Taurus. I just realized that because it was at 29 degrees of Aries, but now it's in Taurus at 0 degrees, and Mars is also in Taurus now, and so there is a emphasis on your Wow, this is your communication. You're another one with communication. And this is actual, lots of it. Like with Mars in the area of communication, and I just realized that Uranus is down there too. It could be sudden communication. Wow, you are going to be communicating a lot. Be careful in your short distance travel, like driving in cars or bicycles, or even when you're out walking, just be aware of what's around you in your neighborhood and your surrounding area. Also in your neighborhood in general, be cautious of your neighbors, because Mars and Uranus, Mars is action and it can be aggressive activity. And so you might have arguments with your neighbors. I hope that doesn't occur, but it just could be you're more active, right? And you're doing more. You're just doing more and you're more active. And this is a good thing. It could be more activity with family as well, like extended family, brothers and sisters and cousins and aunts and uncles and nieces and nephews. And just be aware of having arguments with them, because I always think of arguments when I think of Mars. And I especially think of arguments when I think of Mars in Taurus, because Taurus well, they can be a little stubborn. And so be aware of any of that stubbornness when it comes to communicating with family and things of that nature. Overall, though, I think it looks good for you. All right, Pisces, I think you've got a good month coming. And I think once things go into Aries, it's going to just put more emphasis into money. And that's always good. So good luck with that and have a wonderful March. And I'll talk to you in April, Pisces.